Jimmy Uso betrays Roman Reigns and quit the OG Bloodline. Massive plans for SmackDown this week. A massive congratulations to Finn Balor. The WWE's newest initiative set to affect lives negatively. Why Seth Rollins never wanted kids. CM Punk is set to reform the straight edge society. The WWE's brand split update with Netflix wanting Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. Roman Reigns' feelings towards Jey Uso confirmed. Let's dive right in. Massive plans for SmackDown this week. Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, has a lot to handle in the upcoming episode of Friday Night SmackDown. The National Treasure was also involved in a heated brawl between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at Crown Jewel 2024, but was unable to restore order during the altercation. Let's discuss 5 actions Nick Aldis could take on SmackDown this week. Number 1. Nick Aldis could impose fine on Randy Orton for attacking Adam Pearce at Crown Jewel 1. Action the SmackDown general manager might take is to fine Randy Orton for his actions at Crown Jewel 2024. The Viper hit an RKO on Adam Pearce at the Saudi Arabia event, and attacking an authority figure is bound to have consequences. As a result, Aldis could make a bold move by penalizing Orton with a hefty fine. However, many fans believe the Legend Killer is already one step ahead of Aldis. Orton paid his fine double during his last suspension, hinting that he was prepared for future consequences. This means the Apex Predator might not have to pay up, even if Nick Aldis tries to punish him on the blue brand. Number 2. Another suspension for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens attacked Randy Orton even before their match started at the Saudi Arabia show, brutally destroying him in the process. As a result, Nick Aldis could decide to suspend the prizefighter once again to progress the storyline further. The company had previously suspended Owens after attacking Cody Rhodes and Orton, but his suspension was lifted when Randy requested a match against Owens at Crown Jewel. However, due to KO's actions at the event, Aldis may not hesitate to suspend him from the blue brand again. Number 3. Bringing back Trish Stratus to feud with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton are still aligned after their actions at Crown Jewel. However, the irresistible force might confront Stratton in the upcoming episode. If a feud between these two doesn't develop, Nick Aldis could bring in Trish Stratus as the next challenger for the WWE Women's Championship. This is possible because Survivor Series, the next PLE, will take place in Vancouver, Canada. With the event in the Hall of Famer's hometown, booking a match between Jax and Stratus seems realistic. Number 4. Nick Aldis could announce a tournament to determine the number 1 contender for LA Knight's US title. LA Knight successfully defeated Carmelo Hayes and Andrade at Crown Jewel, retaining his United States Championship in a thrilling triple threat match. With no clear challenger left for the megastar, this opens the door for the SmackDown general manager to announce a tournament to determine the number 1 contender for Knight's title. This would give WWE a solid way to book Knight for the upcoming Survivor Series PLE. Number 5. Team Aldis vs. Team Pearce at War Games could get announced. One of the major speculations for SmackDown this week is that WWE could announce a Team Nick Aldis versus Team Adam Pearce match for Survivor Series War Games. The tension between these two general managers has been escalating week by week. On tonight's SmackDown, Nick and Adam could engage in another heated exchange through a phone call or a face-to-face confrontation. This could lead to team warfare between the two GMs inside the War Games structure. A massive congratulations to Finn Balor. Finn Balor has firmly established himself as a prominent member of the WWE roster. It has now been 10 years since the Prince made his official debut for the company, thus reaching the feat not many have been able to achieve. The Judgment Day member was a major name in the New Japan Pro Wrestling before he shifted to the States. He founded the famous Bullet Club faction during his time with NJPW, which paved the way for many younger stars. The 43-year-old joined the global juggernaut in 2014. Baylor signed with the company in May 2014. However, his official on-screen debut came on November 6th as he came out to help Hideo Itami, aka Kenta, against The Ascension, Connor and Victor. With the Prince celebrating the 10th anniversary of his WWE debut today, we would like to congratulate him on reaching the monumental feat. Finn Balor has been a heel for the last couple of years. However, the former Universal Champion has hinted towards a babyface turn in the last few weeks, as he was seen irritated with Dominic Mysterio's actions. WWE analyst Sam Roberts also believes that the star is about to undergo a character change. It feels like we're moving towards a Finn Balor turn. When you pick up the tea leaves, it feels like that's the direction that things are headed in. And this is not the era where swerves generally happen. This isn't a swerve era. This is more logical. We're following this story. The Prince did some of the best work of his career as a babyface. He achieved major success upon his main roster debut as he was crowned the inaugural Universal Champion. However, he suffered an injury during the match and had to relinquish the title. The 43-year-old has not won a world title since. The WWE's newest initiative set to affect lives negatively. WWE recently took a major step in terms of scouting out new talent. However, veteran journalist Bill Apter thinks this may affect people in a bad way under certain circumstances. WWE ID, the new initiative, is an effort to provide upcoming indie wrestlers a chance to build a better career in the ring. The ID stands for Independent Development, and the program will also endorse certain wrestling schools to provide them with top-tier training and mentorship, among other things. On Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine hosted by Mac Davis, Bill Apter shared his thoughts on the matter. He said, "It depends on who you are. If you are an indie wrestling school like the Monster Factory and you are not approved by them, it's like going to a school and getting a degree. You know you went to this important school, or you're gonna go to a school that's not really recognized as the most important. It's not just about going to the schools, it's also going to be where they are going to be following certain talents around as they develop in the indie wrestling scene. So I think it's good in one way." While there are certainly benefits for young talent under the new initiative, Bill Apter is apprehensive about specific problems it may cause. Adding to his previous comments on the Wrestling Time Machine, the legendary journalist explained that the schools that would not be endorsed by WWE ID could face trouble breaking even financially. "But there are so many pro wrestling schools that I hope that this does not, put any of them into a position where they're gonna have trouble making a living." While there are certainly benefits for young talent under the new initiative, Bill Apter is apprehensive about specific problems it may cause. Adding to his previous comments on the Wrestling Time Machine, the legendary journalist explained that the schools that would not be endorsed by WWE ID could face trouble breaking even financially. "But there are so many pro wrestling schools that I hope that this does not, put any of them into a position where they're going to have trouble making a living. As of now, it remains to be seen how the whole matter pans out in the future." Why Seth Rollins never wanted kids. One of WWE's most noteworthy power couples of the last decade is Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. The two were blessed with a baby daughter, Rue Lopez, in December 2020. Seth Rollins, real name Colby Lopez, opened up about a lot of things recently, both professional and personal. He candidly spoke about how things organically happened between him and Becky Lynch, revealing that about 2 months after they began dating, Rollins was searching for a ring. It was the man's idea to have a baby during the lockdown in 2020, according to the former world heavyweight champion. However, none of this is what he envisioned initially. In a conversation with the Pivot podcast, the visionary noted that observing how fellow wrestlers raised their kids without actually being there for them deterred him from having kids of his own. As athletes or entertainers, there is so much of your kid's infancy that you end up missing because you're working. And that dude. I watch guys in our industry do it for years. They'd be gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, not see their kids. It deterred me from even wanting to have kids, Seth Rollins said. In 2020, Becky Lynch was the Raw Women's Champion and self-admittedly wanted to put over Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 36 and subsequently take time off. However, Vince McMahon allegedly did not allow it. She was already pregnant but waited to tell the former WWE chairman. Although Lynch expected to get fired, McMahon reacted positively when she finally disclosed the news. Seth Rollins recounted the events leading up to his Irish wife's pregnancy. He revealed during the interview that Becky Lynch felt she needed time off after witnessing Stone Cold Steve Austin perform with no fans in attendance. The beer bash fell flat, according to her, without the crowd. Becky was like, "I don't want to do this for however long we're going to be doing this. And we talked about having a kid. I was like, well, if you don't want to do this, we could be here for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9. We thought it was going to be a year and a half, but either way, that was the perfect time." Becky Lynch has seemingly retired from in-ring competition. The truth of the matter is that she has not outright admitted to this or given any information regarding her return. CM Punk is set to reform the Straight Edge Society. CM Punk might be on his way to revive the Straight Edge Society stable in WWE, which he had formed nearly 14 years ago. The group then consisted of former superstars Joey Mercury, Serena, and current WWE superstar Luke Gallows. The iconic heel faction had a decent run, starting in late 2009 and ending in September 2010. The Straight Edge superstar is currently on a hiatus from WWE since the Bad Blood Premium Live event, where he defeated Drew McIntyre in a brutal Hell in a Cell match. When he returns, there is a strong possibility of him reforming the Straight Edge Society faction with an OG member along with 2 new members from the roster. Those 3 superstars could be Luke Gallows, Big Bronson Reed, and NXT superstar Oba Femi. Punk might start with Gallows because he is an OG member, and the star isn't part of any current storyline. Gallows was part of AJ Styles, the original club faction, along with Carl Anderson. However, with both Styles and Anderson on the sidelines due to injury, WWE could put Gallows into another stable with CM Punk. The The second member Punk could recruit in SES might be Big Bronson Reed. The monster is currently engaged in a bitter feud with Seth Rollins, someone whom CM Punk supposedly has real-life heat. It would be also interesting because there were reports that Seth was originally planned to be Punk's WrestleMania opponent before the latter was ruled out from this year's show due to injury. Even though Bronson Reed lost to Rollins at the recently concluded Crown Jewel PLE, he seemingly isn't done with Rollins yet. The monster attacked the Visionary this week on Raw, costing him his #1 contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's expected now that Rollins shall square off against Bronson Reed at Survivor Series War Games. If CM Punk returns to WWE before the marquee event, he might back Reed and bring him into his team, thus beginning a long-term rivalry with Seth Rollins. The third possible member of Punk's stable could be WWE's newest sensation, Oba Femi. Femi's name has been pitched by CM Punk himself recently. Punk had said that if he got an opportunity to revive the Straight Edge Society, then Femi would be his first choice. It could even be the best way to move the star to the main roster, under Punk's watchful guidance. Punk was recently asked by Justin Walker of KTSM about whom he would pick if he were to revive the Straight Edge Society today. Punk took the name of Oba Femi in reply. "I don't want to beat a dead horse, so it would have to be some sort of a variation on the Straight Edge Society," Punk answered. "Maybe something a little bit similar, maybe named different. I think the #1 with a bullet to be with me in some form of a stable would be Oba Femi," CM Punk said. Oba Femi is inarguably one of the breakout superstars of WWE this year. He is the longest reigning WWE NXT North American champion. His reign lasted for 273 days before it was ended by D'Angelo on October 8th at NXT's CW premiere. He is expected to make his main roster debut soon, either on Raw or SmackDown. The WWE's brand split update with Netflix wanting Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. There's an update about the WWE brand split heading into the new year, especially with the report about Netflix wanting Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. There's also been rumors of a draft for some time. The report has addressed it. For some time now, there's been a build-up to WWE being on Netflix. It's known that the streaming service is expecting certain stars to appear on its brand, even if they are currently on SmackDown. As a result, there have been several rumors, including those of the brand split ending once and for all, thus allowing stars to be present on both brands. There have also been rumors of a new WWE draft before the Netflix move. Now, in a report by Fightful Select, there's been talk about the move. As it turns out, the brand split is not 100% dead, even with the company requesting Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. Given that SmackDown will be on USA Network while Raw goes to Netflix, both of the brands will need stars who will be unique to their show. This means that when Netflix requests certain names, they understand there will be equality there. At this point, stars are also not aware of which brand they will be on after the move to Netflix next year. Fans will have to wait and see how it's sorted out. While this has not been reported, Triple H will likely make a decision about whether there will be a draft to divide stars, and where the 3 stars, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, will end up. Roman Reigns' feelings towards Jey Uso confirmed. WWE Crown Jewel 2024 kicked off with the Battle of Tribal Chiefs as Roman Reigns' OG Bloodline locked horns with Solo Sikoa's version of the faction. However, the match did not end in favor of the original Tribal Chief, as the OG Bloodline lost their chance to secure victory. The ending of the match saw the new Bloodline overpower the Usos and Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn rushed out to save Jey, but things soon got out of hand. Everything seemed to be going perfectly before the former honorary Uso mistakenly took Reigns out with a hell of a kick after Solo Sikoa ducked out of the way. The tension escalated between Jimmy and Sami, and Jey tried to mediate the heat. Despite losing a high-stake match at 2024 Crown Jewel and Sami Zayn's blunder, Roman Reigns seemed cool with Jey Uso. One fan shared a screenshot on Twitter X, which shows the original Tribal Chief only following one person on his official TikTok account, and that is Jey Uso. It seems like the head of the table is still trying to put all bad blood aside with his cousin. Reigns even allowed Jey Uso to start the match, and the latter even entered the match last, showcasing his popularity and how he is now a star in his own right. Despite the big win, Solo Sikoa and his bloodline attacked Roman and the Usos. After taking out the original Tribal Chief, the Street Champion targeted Jey Uso and wrapped a chair around the neck of the former Intercontinental Champion to take him out. Sami Zayn ran out to save Jey Uso from Bloodline. Initially, it looked like the Reigns original faction had finally reunited. However, things took a different turn after Sami connected a hell of a kick to Reigns' face after Solo managed to escape. It seems that animosities are far from over within the Bloodline, and Sami Zayn has now inserted himself into the mix. Inadvertently kicking Roman Reigns may have ramifications later, but for now, it remains to be seen whether the former honorary Uso can set aside his differences to take on Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. Jey Uso betrays Roman Reigns and quit the OG Bloodline. Crown Jewel 2024 kicked off with chaos after Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns to capture a big win for his bloodline. The closing moment of the bout saw Solo and the faction overpowering the original tribal chief, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. Sami Zayn rushed out to save Jey, but things quickly took a different path after the honorary Uso accidentally connected a hell of a kick on the face of the former undisputed WWE champion, which escalated tension between Zayn and Jimmy while the Yeet Master tried to mediate things. On the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, Jey Uso invited Sami to SmackDown, where Roman Reigns is expected to address what went wrong, including Zayn's involvement. In a shocking twist, the original tribal chief could welcome the honorary Uso with open arms and demand no loyalty test. This move could trigger Jimmy Uso and lead to him betraying the OG Bloodline. When Jimmy raised questions about Sami's loyalty on the Red brand this week, the Great Liberator reminded them of his history of betraying everyone, which includes him, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns himself. The animosity between these two former friends is growing with every passing week. Other than Sami Zayn's harsh assessment, Jimmy Uso had his reason to keep Zayn away from the Bloodline saga, and the point Big Jim made on Raw was that the 40-year-old is not part of the family. However, Jey Uso corrected himself and his twin brother, stating that it was not about blood relation and that Sami was part of the family. The Yeet Master also invited Zayn to SmackDown to sort things as a family. Meanwhile, Jimmy still seemed upset and angry. Jimmy Uso proved to be the most loyal member of Reigns' bloodline, as he stood by his side when he was all alone. However, if Roman welcomes Sami Zayn back into the faction, Big Jim might feel violated and underappreciated, which could lead to him turning heel once again. It seems that animosities are far from over within the bloodline, now that Zayn has inserted himself back into the mix. It will be interesting to see what unfolds next in the saga.